Hi, I'm Ryan Trujillo, and I just got back from visiting Cuba for the Havana Jazz Festival, and I'd like to talk about it. Like I said, I just got back from visiting Cuba for their week-long Festival Internacional Jazz Plaza. It was a super tight experience, and I'd like to share that for a couple of reasons. First off, Cuba is currently in financial crisis. The average monthly salary of about $15–20 a month super doesn't match the cost of living, and future musical tourism can potentially help. So sharing this is kind of my little way of helping the Cuban people. And secondly, I am just a lover of Cuban culture, Cuban music, etc., etc. The unique blend of European and African present on that island is absolutely amazing. From the more African roots of rumba music to the European classical stuff, to the blending and son, danzón, to more modern Cuban salsa called timba, to Cuban timbaton, which combines reggaeton with these elements. It really is amazing. I pretty much think that despite the economic situation, Cuba is culturally one of the strongest places in the entire world. First, I want to talk about some of the logistical things that we had to figure out in order to travel to Cuba. First off, of course, we had to buy a plane ticket. Getting a plane ticket included getting a visa at the Miami airport at the gate when we were leaving to get to Havana. This costed another $100, not a big deal, but something to do. At the airport, we had to declare a reason that we were entering the country. I was told in general to just put that you are supporting the Cuban people. And we were. We actually brought a large duffel bag full of just supplies, like dish soap, body soap, coffee, just tools and stuff that our Cuban friends here wanted us to take to their families. This was new for me. It was interesting. There, of course, you need somewhere to sleep. So we booked lodging through Airbnb. Super easy. Do it all on the app. It's great. Now, money in Cuba is kind of a funny situation. Coming from the US, you need to bring everything. Your cards don't work there in general. I saw some hotels that they said that visas would work, but then American cards never worked at any place where I did have my card, so I don't know. But we brought all of our money. We needed to change over money to Cuban pesos, which apparently is given to you at a weird, whack exchange rate at the airport. So we changed over our money with a person through our friend's Airbnb host, which ended up working out really well. I like to tip people with dollar bills for things. When I met someone who was really kind, I like to give them like a $5 bill or whatever, usually prefacing it with like, hey, I know the situation's really bad here. Let me help out at least a little bit. You know, if I had a world, I'd just help everyone, but I can't do that. Now, for your Airbnb, you kind of want to plan to bring all of the supplies you're going to need, like household stuff, dish soap, anything like that. Just plan to bring it. You know, bring Pepto-Bismol, Tylenol, like any little thing that you might need, just bring it. It's all really hard to get there, and anything you don't use, you can just give away to someone. They will appreciate it. Now, to cover your cell phone, you just have to go to a Cuban Etexa store. You just go in and pay, I think it was 1,500 pesos we ended up paying to have a Cuban number with cell phone service, data, everything. It was super easy. Only problem, my new iPhone uses an eSIM, so I was unable to do that. But luckily all of my friends were able to, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, to get around the city, you pretty much have to taxi. But in the past, I've been told that taxiing is sometimes sketchy. If you don't agree on a number with the taxi driver beforehand, you can get scammed, they would tell me, yada yada. But through this really handy WhatsApp group called Muévete, it's basically like Cuban Uber. You just go in and text it, hey, I need a taxi. Someone messages you, and then asks you for the location that you're at, location you want to go, number of passengers. You agree on a number in advance. They call you telling you they're on their way, and then call you when they're at your, wherever you're at to get taken, and no questions asked, there you go. It was super, super, super easy. I wish my first time I went to Cuba I had this WhatsApp group. It was really, really a godsend. Now, having all this stuff, it actually felt super safe getting around. When we wanted to walk, we did, and we walked a lot. And basically we followed the same rules you would in any major city, right? Like, don't leave money hanging out of your pockets, don't wear a backpack behind you in crowded places. In Colombian Spanish, where they say no das papaya, like, just don't put yourself in situations that are gonna get you messed up. And it was easy. There's people that want to hustle you for your money if you look American, but you just be firm and confident and act with intention, and everything's good. It's easy. Now, with all the logistical stuff figured out, we just had the week to spend going to concerts. We had a program in PDF form with all the concerts happening, and we just picked the ones we wanted to go to. For us personally, we were most interested in Cuban rumba, timba, and like son music. So we'd pick those concerts and make sure to get to them. A lot of stuff would start late if it wasn't like a theater concert, but it was really easy. It was great. Some of the groups we saw were Ronald y su Explosión Rumbera. We saw Septeto Santiaguero. We saw Pedrito Martinez a couple times. I was hyped to see Orquesta Aragon play. We saw Alain Perez with his orchestra, which was super, super tight. They ended up getting rained out, which was crazy. All these guys climbing the scaffolding to cover things with tarps while they were throwing down. It was quite a sight. And besides these like larger established acts, we also saw younger bands coming up and performing, well, mixing Cuban music with so many other things. And I wanted to make a thing to kind of give like an honorable mention to one guitar player in his group that we saw at an after party. His name is Dairon Ortiz, and his music was super, super creative, like modern fusion stuff, but super, super steeped in Cuban music tradition. I'm gonna link his music on Spotify here, and I really recommend you listen to it. Another cool thing we did during the day, one day we actually booked a guitar lesson with Cuban guitar player Octavio Cotan, who used to play for Los Van Van way back in the day, and has worked and arranged with a whole bunch of different people. We taxied out to his house out in Guanabacoa, to the east of Havana, and then spent the day. We had a long guitar lesson, just talking son music, and we had dinner with the family, and it was really, like, I don't have the words to correctly convey what a warm experience that was. But yeah, after a whole week of just doing music constantly, we decided to spend our last day taxiing up to Varadero, a beach resort town, and it was a really, really sick way to decompress after all of that. And we actually stopped at a freshwater cave along the way, the Cueva de Saturno, Saturn Cave, and it was so, so cool. I mean, I didn't think it would be such a rush to jump in the water in a cave. But yeah, that's pretty much our trip. Along the way, we met all kinds of amazing people that were so, so, so kind to us. I was kind of expecting that, hearing that we were coming from the US, people would be bitter for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but people were always so kind and gracious that there were Americans taking an interest in their country. There's a Cuban bass player that lives here in the Bay Area now that once said in a class I was taking with him to us that you Americans have everything, but you do nothing. And it really struck me, especially now having been to Cuba in the current situation. Having so little, they still relentlessly express so much joy in their music and work so much to do whatever they can. And we here in the US so often get just hung up on whether it be the choices that the internet gives us or whatever insecurity, and we end up doing nothing. And so one of my big takeaways is to just try to live more authentically and stronger and create art where I can without overthinking it, because life can be short and we forget what we have. We should be taking advantage of it. But with that, I hope you liked my video. I hope it gives you something to think about. I'm definitely still chewing on the details from this trip. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna be thinking about it for a little while. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to talk about in the future, and yeah, see you in the next one.